Hello, this is my Adore gouache color palette, and it is 24 pans with 30 ml in each. I've had it for a long time, and lately I showed my totally dried out palette doing a stream, complaining about I dislike painting with them when they are so dry that they're crumbling up. I don't like to dig out pigments from these craters. So now I'm trying to revitalize them, and people in chat mentioned about why don't you try soak them up with water, and then if I manage to get like a paint consistence out of this, I could add in some drops of glycerin. So I'm actually taking up you guys on your words, and I have poured in water in these pans. Can you see they're literally swimming in it, and they are because I remember once I took gouache and put it in small half pans, and I noticed that 1/3 of the pans was shrunk away when they dried up. So I know that there was like a lot of moist that's going to evaporate when gouache is drying out. So that's why I wasn't afraid of pouring in water in these pans. Okay, it looks so like over exaggerated, but you also have to recall that some of the pan is gouache, you know, so the water cannot go down into the bottom of the pan. Here I'm trying already now, it's only been like 10 minutes or something. I was able to kind of push that hard chunk of magenta free of the walls of the pan, which I think is really amazing, because trust me, these are like super hard. They were, at least when they were dry, they were like hard as rock. But yeah, I'm going to bed now, and then I'm gonna put the lid on this palette and let it soak until I wake up tomorrow, and then I'll see how the consistencies are there tomorrow. So it's the next day. I think it's 7, maybe 8 hours later, and I can see that my latch didn't held up through the night. It's always like one side, but I guess that I have to wrap it in saran wrap. Ooh, it looks good. It looks really good. I mean, this is like no comparison with the crusty palette that I had 24 hours ago. Yeah, I can really tell that it's moistened up. Oh, can you hear that sound? You know, that kind of sticky. I remember that sound from when I bought it. There's still a lot of lumps in there. Can you see how I can scoot out, you know, like a lump? But overall, the paint around the lumps are exactly as when I bought it. Look, it holds a tip, like if it was like icing a cake. This is like frosting whipped perfectly, you know, it holds its tip and it's not like totally watered down. Oh my god, I am so glad that I gave this palette a second chance. Definitely likable. Not so likable is the white compartment. I actually think that I'm gonna scrape it out and then replace it, because I got a big tube of white Pibeo gouache, and I like to squeeze that out from the tube, knowing that it's like crisp, non-contaminated white. Yeah, you know what, I think I'm gonna scrape the white out of this one and then replace it with I got this yellow ochre from Royal Langnigal, and I can recall that I always had to mix an ochre because it's kind of missing from this set. So I'm simply going to just, and that's the cool thing about this palette, you can just take up one pan and reorganize it the way you want it. So I could squeeze out, when I cleaned it, the ochre, and then I would have like a perfect palette. Yeah, this was so cool. Oh man, this was the first one that I worked a ton on yesterday. It's like there's no lumps in there at all. Okay, there is a little bit I can see, but I can't even feel them when I'm just, you know, stirring in it. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay, I should end this video. I did watch some what was it called, like cleaning out my Himi gouache palette. All the videos was called that, and I think it's because a lot of us bought the Himi gouache when it was like a hype for what, a year, 2 years ago. So there are a lot of people like me who year and a half later on down the road had a crusty palette. So I watched a lot of they call them cleaning out my gouache palette, in case you guys want to see those videos too. But they're like really aesthetically like pleasing to watch. Like everything was set up so nice, and you know, like it was going to be like a relaxing video where they like close up of people you know, twirling around this paint. So but mine is not so aesthetically pleasing like that. But I will say that I really love the fact that you can revitalize these jelly cups, because yeah, I'm just really surprised that such an sort of inexpensive art supply can be brought back to life so easily to spark even more joy. The reason why I like gouache so much is because I'm kind of messy, and I can just take a warm cloth and then just clean off my work surface, and I can throw my clothes in the washing machine, and then every trace of a painting session is just washed away. When I work with acrylics and oils, I get a little bit tense because I'm afraid that the cat is going to jump up on my palette. An accident will happen, I will drop something or get it on my chair, or you know. So working with water-soluble media has always been a joy, I think. I mean, like a more relaxed painting session. So it was a very nice idea to bring back this palette. Yeah, why the hell am I using a knife from the kitchen when I got so many nice painting spatulas? No idea. But thanks if you watched this long. So bye bye. Okay, in a blink of a second, half an hour has passed. Well, look, I'm getting that thick paint consistence in only half an hour. But it's not like it's been sitting still for half an hour. I've been sitting here knifing my magenta while I was watching Lindsay the Frugal Crafter's latest gouache upload. It's called All-Star Gouache Tip. And yeah, she had a display of a huge gouache palette. I think it was like a week ago or something. And I made a comment to that video saying something about it's fun when they're all juicy, but as soon as the palette dries up and crumbles, I lose the joy for it, you know. And then I got almost starstruck because first she gave me a heart for my comment, and I was like, you. And then she actually replied my comment, and she wrote that thanks for watching, and that on her next upload she will give a guide to how to revitalize dried out gouache. So I just spent half an hour watching her upload, waiting for that golden tip to be dropped, but she didn't really talk about revitalizing gouache at all. So yeah, maybe I missed it, I don't know. I've just been sitting here methodically just knifing my magenta while I was watching, and in that small amount of time, half an hour, I actually managed to get this very actually astonishing consistency, reminding me more and more of the paint when I received the palette. I have no regrets of putting in so much water, because I can see that I still got some big lumps left. Can you see when I lift up like this? There are a lot of lumps left to be dissolved. So I think the ratio is not so bad. Okay, and then I stopped that video. I just decided to type in revitalize gouache on YouTube, and there's a lot of people who have done uploads, and I can see that all of them are sitting with toothpicks poking into their gouache, just like I'm sitting right now here with a knife. And then I noticed that, oh, those people are so clever. They first of all clean their gouache. Can you see that yellow there, how it's contaminated with some green? And I was thinking, oh, I'm so stupid, I should have cleaned my gouache before I poured water in it. And then, speaking about water, I'm using just regular tap water. And then one video, this girl was saying that she was using demineralized clean water to avoid getting mold in her gouache, which also made me think that I should have investigated this before jumping into my project here. But yeah, I just took regular tap water, you know. So I've not had any mold issue with my paint. I think I live in a climate that's, you know, not humid enough. And I know that right here it seems like it's mold in my gouache, but it's not. It's because I have had a white brush dipped into it. You can actually see the brush stroke from, you can just tell that it's not mold, it's a brush stroke of some white. Okay, but I turned on the camera back on because I was thinking, before I go to bed, I should at least try to push down all the gouache that I can so it's submerged underneath the water. Like here, there's something showing up. So suddenly I was thinking that, oh my god, can you see how it's just dissolving? Suddenly I was just thinking that this might actually be an ASMR moment for some people to see me. I'm not gonna spend much time on each pan. I'm just gonna make sure that it's underwater at least. So that one is underwater. Let me try and pick one where it has gone up on the side of the pan, like this one over here. It's like, oh wow, it is so soft. I can't believe that I haven't tried this before. I can't believe that I had this palette just collecting dust. Look, I can even scoop out the whole chunk effortless. I should have done this month ago, I'm telling you guys. I would have had more joy out of this palette if I have had this idea earlier. So thanks to all the people who came to my stream and started a very vivid chat about what to do with this palette. Everything from donating it to trying to sell it to revitalizing it, anything rescuing it from the landfill. So that was a good stream. Yeah, I want every pan to be like this before I go to bed. You know, where it's like soaked underwater. Okay, let's try and irritate that burnt sienna. It's been so annoying to pick up. Yeah, the thing stuck on the side of the pan is chipping off. This pan has been the worst because the crack was the deepest. So when I had a moist brush, I felt that I had to add a lot of water because water just ran off the paint and into the crack. And then, you know, it's just annoying that you can't control your water ratio when you're working with gouache. So I would actually rather prefer having a moist paint, like fresh out of tube, so I better can control the water ratio. Okay, this is like super hard still in the center. Okay, it needs to sit more. Oh my god, it's looking so unattractive right now. Get away from this poo color right here. It's a pretty color. Let's take the red one. I love red. Okay, I've been using a lot of this red one, so it's almost down to the bottom. Can you see that's the bottom of the pan? Yup, it just snaps off. Oh my god, so effortless. I'm definitely not regretting taking a knife. This would be a Peter to do, sitting poking it with a toothpick. But yeah, just getting it soaked like this would be perfect. Has anyone seen those giant gouache palettes? What are they, like 56 or 64? 30 ml pans. It must weigh like a ton. This palette that I got right here is pretty heavy. I remember when I received it and lifted it for the first time, it's got like this plastic, you know, that tiny plastic handle on the palette. I never just took it up only in that handle without supporting the back of the palette, because to me it felt like it weighed a lot, so I can't even begin to imagine how heavy a 64 pan gouache set must be. But now I am falling back in love with gouache when I know that I can revitalize these pans. Now it's not, you know, going to be thrown out to the landfill. I don't think that putting water in it will damage the paint at all, because I think it's a bit like, you know, watercolor pans. They are meant to be able to be re-wet. And I say that because I do use fresh out of tube gouache, and yesterday I did some painting with gouache, and as you can see, I got this residue left in my pan, and it's like totally hard right now. And if I come in with, also here, that's also gouache, if I come in with like water, it's not like a bunch of water, but like a moist brush, same consistency, same quality as did I just squeeze it out of the tube. So I hope it's like a generic thing with gouache, that no matter what kind of brand you got, you can revitalize them probably several times. I'm not sure that I'm gonna put in glycerin though. I've only tried drops of glycerin in watercolor, and I did it with the Arteza watercolors because they were notorious to make like crumples and cracks when they dried up, making it difficult for the paint to stay inside the pan and want it to be shaken out, you know. But I never tried glycerin in gouache. Okay, I lifted this. It's still really hard. So, but I managed to manipulate with it, so it's a good thing. I really dislike that green right there. Not my favorite of this palette. Now I actually get the chance to put in some blue or yellow and mix a more likable green. Okay, what I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gonna turn off the camera. What about this orange up here? That's like really... Can I get the camera all the way down? I don't think... Yeah. Yeah, I'm so happy that I'm not sitting with toothpicks. If you guys are gonna do this, don't take toothpicks, because if they snap while you have to force the paint away from the side of the pan, it would be irritating. Yeah, I want to sit here and mush this, this palette before I go to bed. So it's all a bit like that one, you know. And then see you guys tomorrow.